What's up, guys? So I wanted to touch on this subject again here, kind of in relation to what's going on with the whole hashtag natty verified thing. It seems most of the community is pretty in unison with the fact that it's basically just going to be, fake natties getting a feather in their cap, passing these tests, and they're gonna forever, hashtag natty verified on all their YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, Twitter content, monetized platforms, etc. They're gonna say, "See, I told you I was natty." Blah blah blah. I think we're all every video I've seen on the subject pretty well at this point is kind of in agreement with that's what's gonna happen. The only thing here I'm going to say that I'm not really a fan of, even while being in agreement with that, is the whole drug tested doesn't mean drug free. I think we all understand that at this point. However, it gets said almost every time somebody brings up like drug tested competition or legit lifters who are out there hitting big numbers and passing drug tests. It's almost like drug tests don't matter at all, which they do still hold some weight. Obviously, there are ways to beat tests. We've all watched documentaries, we've read articles, etc., etc. But in organizations where testing is random, you don't get to study for a test. And some will say, "Oh, well, feds pick favorites and they can give them a heads up, bribe money, etc., etc." Something like powerlifting, there's really not a lot of money in it, especially on the lifters end. So these Icarus like things with the whole Russian state sponsored test cheating thing is not a reality in powerlifting. So I think like Blaine Sumner, he was out on a boat and they were like, "Look, bro, you've got half an hour to dock your boat and come, take this drug test." So random tests to happen, and IPF, USAPL, whatever, they are subject to random, out of competition as well as in competition. Most feds, it's in competition only. 100% raw, which I've competed in. It's in competition only. I believe USPA is in competition only. RPS, drug tested divisions, in competition only, etc. Drug tests are expensive. That's a lot of why they're not more prevalent, is because of the cost issue. But I just want to say the whole drug test that doesn't mean drug free thing, it would be naive to think that there's nobody in these federations that are cheating, but I think it's equally naive to think that everybody is cheating, including some of those at the top. The percentage of people cheating tests and or getting around them at the top may or may not be a bigger percentage than those at the middle and the bottom. However, not every single person who's ever been strong is on steroids or cheating or trying to get a illegal leg up. There's some naturally strong motherfuckers out there who put in 10, 15 years of solid training and reach these elite numbers. So I don't like when it gets turned into that. You go into professional sports that there's millions of dollars on the line. I would imagine the percentages are much more skewed towards people getting around tests, beating tests, or just blatantly, openly cheating. Typically see a couple failed drug tests a year, which may or may not just be scapegoats for the rest of the league to carry on, and things, and like the NFL and things like that. But again, there's still, even in the NFL, not every single NFL player is on steroids or on gear. The majority of them probably. Let's not be naive. It's probably a big percentage, but I would say it's a bigger percentage, a much bigger percentage in something like the NFL than it is in, powerlifting, just given the money that's on the line and, the level of performance required. And, I draw on my own experiences too. I don't think of myself as some, elite genetic specimen by any means. Maybe slightly above average is what I typically say. But, I've put in work. I've gotten relatively strong. But even so, I'm not like ridiculously out of this world Ray Williams strong. For example, there's a bunch of guys. I would be a super heavyweight in USAPL, and there's a bunch of guys that out-total me. There's guys in lower weight classes who would out-total me. And that's something I want people to take a look at too when, you're talking about the whole drugs thing and what's possible and what not. When people make, if you lift X or more, then you're on steroids. Again, I'll throw myself out there with a 500 bench. A lot of people say, oh, that's not possible naturally. If you go on openpowerlifting.org, I believe there is a 148 pound lifter who's benched 500. That guy is probably not natural. And I don't think it was drug tested or anything. But a 148 pound guy benching 500 pounds. 300 pound me, double his body weight. It's perfectly feasible that I don't need steroids to do that. Nor does any other large human benching that much. When you got 148 pound guys, which, holy shit, benching 500 pounds, that's insane. Numbers now, and they're going to continue to get out of hand. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there because, this Keno thing, it just seems like a marketing money, views, noble intent, if we were taking it at face value. But it seems like a bunch of bigger named YouTubers, Instagrammers are just going to have their names attached to this, and some people are going to get passes now. And everybody's going to probably reap financial benefits from it. However, though, just because there are going to be people beating or, cheating these tests, it does not mean every single drug tested person ever cheated their test or is going to cheat their tests. So I think a lot of comments on my last video were, common sense, and it should be called uncommon sense these days because there's not much of it anymore, it seems. But that there's, you're going to see strong guys, you're going to see, lean guys, you're going to see big guys, you're going to see athletic guys. For the most part, if they're one of these things, they excel at one of these things, hey, they say they're natural, whatever. If they're excelling at 2 to 3 to all of these things all at the same time, that kind of raises suspicions. So, just in the grand scheme of things, it probably doesn't matter a whole lot who is or isn't anymore. I think it's more discussion point than anything amongst other people. But the purist in me would like to see, basically anybody in a tested fed, I would like to see them tested once a month at random, just to really keep it, right and more balanced and fair. But it's not cost effective. That's why it doesn't happen. So now I'm going to start rambling, so we'll just cut it short here.